Good afternoon. This is Rich Nelson with Allendale coming to wrap up comments here. Today's Wednesday, December 14th. Well, the name of today certainly was loss of confidence. So at this point, we still have quite a bit of people suggesting that the measures that the EU took last week at the summit will not be enough or may not be enough to quell their fears about this whole debt situation. Also on top of that, we have an official with the IMF saying, you know what, Greece is not meeting the pace of reforms that we demanded in them according to bailout agreements. So quite honestly, we do have some concern about what's going on here. Most of this, of course, is psychology right now, not necessarily fact-based issues here. But bottom line here, U.S. dollar up 28 in the last trade. Doesn't sound like much for the U.S. dollar index, but keep in mind, this is the highest index since January. Also, crude oil fell a large over $5 here today. Gold down $91 today. Massive move here in gold and the metals today here as well. So bottom line is obviously a risk-off mentality. Concerns about the U.S. government. Well, they'll be able to pass their three different measures they're trying to do as well. So quite a bit of uncertainty, and people are just taking the money off the tables, and that certainly means grains as well. Today's closes on corn, for instance, down 13 3/4. This was the lowest close since December of 2010. Once again, I'll say that same point. This was the lowest close since December back 1 year ago. And that's of nearby contracts. So quite a move here today, and quite a slap in the face, really, to speak of here. As far as the actual trade on the lows, you know what, we did retest last week's lows. Those are 580. Today's lows of 580 1/4, and we did rebound mildly off those lows. But the key point we're going to keep in mind with today's point is obviously the lowest close for any nearby corn contract since December of last year. 1 full year ago. For soybeans, down 18.5 today. This is both a new low for this downtrend that we're currently in, as well as a new low close for the current downtrend we're in as well. So certainly ugly news on this end. For wheat, down 19 3/4. So obviously we've got kind of pretty rough news based on outside market issues, not necessarily grain market issues here to speak of. Southeast Asia purchased about 1 million tons of corn from India over the past few days. That was announced this morning. And other news, the NOPA crush report. This is a little bearish, we will point out. Domestic crush has been poor. September, October, and November are all levels less than what USDA would hope to meet their numbers here. So that's also a little bit of disappointment there. Of course, for soybeans, we will point out, if we were trading grain-only fundamentals, you probably would be seeing the soybean market in a slight uptrend right now here. The fact that we have a shortfall in rain in November, and certainly for the first 2 weeks now of December already wrapped up, there's a clear shortfall here for all 5 of the major soybean producing provinces. It's a little early to say yield damage yet, because this is very early in the growing season. But we will point out, as far as psychology, this is something which we will be watching closely if this pressure from outside market issues lets up. So obviously some disappointment here. Lined up for tomorrow. Let's keep in mind, we do have a couple things we're watching for in the short term. Number one, South Korea, they're trying to buy up to 110,000 tons of corn. They're asking for U.S. So let's see if maybe overnight or tomorrow we get an announcement about South Korea buying some U.S. corn for an overnight sale. Also tomorrow morning at 7:30, USDA will report on weekly export sales, and these will be export sales that were made last week. So let's see if we get another week of rebounding corn sales to at least say, well, you know what, for this negative issue, we can mark it off the list finally, off the corn balance sheet here. As far as the livestock issues, we got the cattle up 12 cents on the February contract, hogs down 7. A little bit of confusion here on both ends. Obviously, with these outside market issues, the risk-off mentality, that's certainly keeping these markets here kind of limited in the movement for livestock. But as far as the midday beef report, down 5 for choice, up 82 for select. So mixed to slightly higher tone there for this midday beef report. Sounds okay there, but we got to point out cash cattle did trade very lightly earlier this week at lower prices. We would certainly guess that lower prices will be seen this week as well. Cattle on feed will be out on Friday. At this point, looks like placement numbers just slightly under last year. We'd say neutral expectations going into this report. Over on the hog side, we did mention down 7 cents for that February contract. Keep in mind that the December contract finally expired today. That was done today at noon. So that is we're kind of wiping this December contract off the table. And February, of course, is taking over the reins at prices very similar to that December price. So bottom line here for the hogs, we've got some confusion here with this December to February type of action. Also, we have some confusion here with this cash market. The fact that cash pork prices have been popping a little higher here recently at the exact same time as cash hog prices have been dropping. This would now actually mean 8 of the last 10 days have had some lower cash hog prices. So this is something we look at here as well. Aside from all the exciting news with outside market issues, we do have to point out something brand new here today as far as our what we call or what I'm going to call the stocking stuffer here. The gentleman in charge of the group in charge of the conference here for January 20th and 21st have let us offer this a very exciting special for you guys here. For $279, you get not just your own seat at the conference and full conference membership as well with that one, but also you get 6 months of our research by itself for free. So this is or by itself as well. So not only a seat at the conference plus 6 months of research, $279. That's a ridiculous amount for our conference. An equivalent price across many other conferences, you're probably looking at $599 to over $1,000 for the quality of the work that we're going to put and show at this conference compared to most other that you'll have a chance to go through throughout this next year. Most of those type of quality type conferences that we're in, $599 to easily over $1,000. The fact that these guys are letting us offer this thing for $279 plus 6 months of research, that's amazing, guys. So certainly would jump on this one. This is not going to be lasting for forever. This is a limited time, so certainly give us a call here at Allendale. Get your own seat lined up. This is quite a stocking stuffer here. So that's 1-800-262-7538. Or also take a look at us on the web, and that's allendale-inc.com. This is Rich Nelson. Have a good trading day and a good trading week.